Hey guys, I wanted to take a second to talk about my fitness journey because it's something that is so involved in my life every single day and something that I prioritize. And I just wanted to share the reasons of why I do this and why it's such a big deal to me. Um, let's see, I've been playing or I've had an active lifestyle ever since I was probably 10 years old. I started playing volleyball at that point. It was like the intramural, like kind of a travel league in a sense, kind of like Little League. So volleyball is like where my activity started. And it's something that I carried through the rest of my life because I still play volleyball today. And throughout time, then I started to add on other sports in school, softball, cheerleading. I did track, I did cross country, but that volleyball was kind of like always first and foremost. So once I graduated high school and went over to college, I guess I've always been like an overweight kid, always been a fat kid, and had just a strong connection to food. Food was definitely my coping mechanism. I didn't realize that until like years later, but looking back, I can see how much I really leaned on food to comfort me through times. So I've never really been comfortable with myself and my body, and that only escalated when I got to college. Now, I went to like a local community college at first, but I did move out and I gained like the freshman 20 and I was already overweight. And so at that point, I really started to take control of my weight and my fitness and what my nutrition was. And I was probably 20 years old at the time, 19. And that's when I think everything really started for me, when this like whole fitness nutrition journey really started. So from there, I started to run a lot more. I remember like the first time that I ran it, and like I'm from a small town, and there's like this loop around the town that's about 2 miles. And I remember the first time running through that loop and thinking like, oh my God, I can run 2 miles. And it was so liberating to be able to do something like that on my own that kind of a career in running really took off at that point. So I started to join races, and that led to doing a couple of half marathons. But after running, I started to explore different areas of activity and different areas of fitness, and I really leaned on it a lot to get me through some tough times too. Fitness was always my go-to, and I think running gave me those reasons. It made me realize that there's so much relief in working out. There's a lot of relief, there's clarity, there's confidence, there's strength that comes from it. And so once I started to explore what those different options are, I started to see the benefit in all the different types of activity that you could do. And so after running, I went into spin classes. Like I loved spin classes. From spinning, then it was kind of like road cycling a little bit. And then at one point, I think cardio just wasn't really getting me to the goals that I wanted to. So I turned to strength training. I started out with like a 5x5 program and just working with barbells. So I think that as my first like strength training program gave me a lot of love and passion for true like heavy like weightlifting. The ability to say like what your body can do, and what you're capable of doing, and your growth over time with strength training. Like to go from thinking that lifting like just a straight up barbell is a challenge to being challenged by like 120 pounds. It's really cool to kind of see that growth over time, or to be able to throw a dumbbell around when you used to struggle even picking it up. But it's those types of, I don't know, exploration in your body that I think really comes down to the core of why fitness is important to me. You can, another aspect is my professional career is in marketing. I do have a bachelor's degree in business admin, and which is specialized in marketing, and that's where my career has always led me to. A lot of strategy versus advertising. But from being in the marketing and advertising world, and starting to like develop strategies for promoting products, you also start to see that some of these things you don't necessarily need in your life. And I think that's another reason what drove me to have such a passion for nutrition and fitness, is because if there's one thing that you can rely upon, it's you. You are in control of your body. And the more that you do for it, and the better you treat it, and the better you prepare it, the more it's going to be prepared for you when you really need it. I kind of like a little personal story. When about 6 years ago, I was hit by a car. I was walking on a street and hit by a car, and I went to the hospital. The ambulance came and picked me up. My back was sore. I pulled some muscles in my leg, but I was able to walk out of the hospital that night on my own 2 feet. And I really thank and credit the fitness training that I was doing, the strength training that I was doing up until that point, because if I didn't have that kind of like reliability on myself and my body, who knows what kind of state that I could have been in after being hit by a car. So there are those like kind of personal experiences that just led me to know that this is a very, very important thing for your life, because you can lose so many things. You can lose your job, you can lose family members, you can lose people around you that are important to you. Your interests, your own personal like strengths can change over time. But again, it can all come back to the one thing that you can rely on, that you have full control over, is your body and what you put into your body. And if you treat it right, then it's going to be there for you. It's going to be there for you. You're going to be happier. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to have confidence in it. And it all just comes down to treating yourself right. So this is the reason that I think fitness is so important. You can rely on it. It's the one thing in life that you have, and why not take care of it? So hopefully that sheds a little bit of light into me and my journey, and why I'm where I'm at today.